All right, ladies and gentlemen, on this post-debate edition of Gimme 5, in case you didn't watch the whole debate, and notwithstanding our brilliant coverage in the post-debate show last night and so far tonight, here's some of what you might have missed.
Trump says we ought to close that internet thing.
Donald, is great at the one-liners, but he's a chaos candidate.
And this is what it's like to be on the floor of the United States Senate. Endless debates about how many angels on the head of a pin from people who've never had to make a consequential decision.
Donald, you're not going to be able to insult your way to the presidency.
It's actually merciful if you go ahead and finish the job rather than death by 1,000 pricks.
So you are okay with the deaths of thousands of innocent children and civilians? It's like...
You got it.
So when you ask yourself, whoever you are that think you're going to support Donald Trump, think, do you believe in the Constitution?
They can kill us, but we can't kill them. That's what you're saying.
If you want something talked about, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
Well, I think if you're in favor of World War III, you have your candidate.
Virtually the entire early portion of the debate was Trump this, Trump that, in order to get ratings.
Mr. Trump,
I've gotten to know him over the last 3 or 4 days. He has a wonderful temperament. He's just fine. Don't worry about it.
Ted, you support legalizing people who are in this country illegally.
That for Marco to suggest our record's the same, it is like suggesting the fireman and the arsonist have the same record because they're both at the scene of the fire.
Are you ready to reassure Republicans tonight that you will run as a Republican and abide by the decision of the Republicans?
I really am.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to also go beyond that, and let's get into Chris Christie. People said, oh, he did so great. He's a buffoon, and I got the proof. And he's never been tough on radical Islamic terrorism, and he's never been tough on that Ground Zero mosque that was proposed. He didn't take a position on that. And I want you to hear some of this when it comes to shooting down Russian planes.
If the U.S. imposed a no-fly zone over Syria and a Russian plane invaded that no-fly zone, would you be prepared to shoot down that Russian plane and risk war with Russia?
Not only are we prepared to do it, I would do it. A no-fly zone means a no-fly zone. Wolf, that's what it means. See, maybe because I'm from New Jersey, I have this kind of plain language hang-up, but I would make very clear, I would not talk to Vladimir Putin. In fact, I would talk to Vladimir Putin a lot. And I would say to him, listen, Mr. President, there's a no-fly zone in Syria. You fly in, it applies to you. And yes, we would shoot down the planes of Russian pilots.
Maybe because I'm from New Jersey. Enough with that already. Enough! And now Rand Paul called him out.
I think if you're in favor of World War III, you have your candidate. Here's the thing. My goodness, what we want in a leader is someone with judgment, not someone who is so reckless as to stand on the stage and say, yes, I'm jumping up and down. I'm going to shoot down Russian planes.
Kudos to Rand Paul and more.
Russia already flies in that airspace. It may not be something we're in love with the fact that they're there, but they were invited by Iraq and by Syria to fly in that airspace. And so if we announce that we're going to have a no-fly zone, and others have said this, Hillary Clinton's also for it, it is a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for World War III.
All right, and here's the final back and forth on this issue.
I think when we think about the judgment of someone who might want World War III, we might think about someone who might shut down a bridge because they don't like their friends. They don't want to, they want to get a Democrat. So I think we need to be very careful.
Governor Christie.
Well, Wolf, I'll tell you what reckless is. What reckless is calling Assad a reformer. What reckless is allowing Russia to come into Crimea and Ukraine. What reckless is inviting Russia into Syria to team with Iran. That is reckless, and the reckless people are the folks in the White House right now. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are the reckless people, and if you think that a no-fly zone is a reckless policy, you're welcome to your opinion. But how's it working so far?
It's not the policy. It's that you would stand on the stage and say, if I'm president, you're damn right I'd shoot down that plane. How could you say something so ridiculous and bombastic? Oh, I forgot. Ridiculous and bombastic. The picture next to that is Chris Christie. Thanks for watching.